It's also great to have Stuart Varney from the Fox Business Channel. He joins us on a rare Monday morning appearance. And Stuart, good morning.
Good morning, Larry, Tori.
Good morning.
Hey, Stuart, so we hear that the Cyprus government and the European Union has reached an agreement on a bailout. Let's get to the details about that in a minute. But first, it really sent stocks soaring around the world. Are we expecting a big day on Wall Street as well?
Yes, the Dow's going to be up probably 40, 50 points at the opening bell. Where it goes from there, I don't know. But let me give you my quick take on Cyprus.
Please.
They get the bailout. Russian mob loses. Germany wins. Cyprus faces imminent depression. Wall Street takes off. I think, in a nutshell, that's what just happened.
It sounds to me like the people of Cyprus are the ones who are getting screwed the most.
Oh, no question about it. They are going to take it on the chin. They're looking at a contraction of their economy of, I'm told, 20%, maybe more. Now, that's depression territory by any definition.
Okay, but
that's
Stuart,
what they're facing.
I have to ask the stupid question of the day, and I've been out of the country for a week or so forgive me. Cyprus, a relatively small place, small island, the Mediterranean. Why such a big deal?
Yeah, just 1.1 million people, 0.2% of Europe's GDP. I mean, a minuscule speck on the economic landscape. Why so important? Because, number one, they breached the principle of private bank accounts. That principle has been breached because they're going to reach into private bank accounts and just take the money out by force of the state. We've not seen that happen anywhere else in Europe, and certainly not North America. So, number one, breach of principle. Number two, they could have been the first country to drop out of the euro. They're not going to do that now because they've got this bailout. But at one point, they look like coming the closest yet to breaking up the eurozone. That's why such a tiny island is such a big deal.
Well, and you say breaking up the Eurozone. I mean, is the writing on the wall here where eventually countries are going to have to start backing out of the Eurozone because they realize that they really don't have any sort of legitimate control over their currency or their fiscal policies as long as they have to keep going back to the EU for permission to do things?
Well, I think the answer to your question comes not from the bankers, not from the markets, not from European bureaucrats. It comes from the people of the countries which might have to leave the euro. Will Greeks, Italians, Spaniards, Portuguese, will they tolerate what's going to happen in Cyprus, which is absolute economic misery and ruin? Will they tolerate that, or will they say, we don't want this to happen to us for the next 10 years, we want out? We will take the severe pain now, but we want out.
Yeah.
That's the unanswered question. It will be the voters of Europe who decide which way this thing goes.
And, Stuart, the other thing that really keeps nagging at me here is, we've been hearing about how Spain is in trouble and Italy is in trouble and Portugal's in trouble and who was the other one? Ireland, I think, was in trouble. We hadn't heard, and Greece, of course, we hadn't heard anything about Cyprus. This came out of nowhere. Are there other Cypruses just brewing and bubbling under the surface that are about to come forward?
I don't know the answer to your question, but you're right. It did just come out of nowhere. The latest prime minister was elected in February, literally last month, on a promise that he would negotiate a bailout. Then the Germans came in with these onerous terms. You're going to take money out of people's private bank accounts, take it or leave it. That propelled them right onto the front burner of the disintegration of Europe. But whether there are other countries in a similar position, I'm not sure. I think you'll have to wait to hear from the voters themselves.
Yeah.
Greeks, Italians, Spaniards, Portuguese, they could all turn around and say, hey, we want out. That could happen.
Let's keep it in Europe for a minute. Francois Hollande, the president, you like how I do that? I'm not bad at that. President of France, he wrote into office saying, screw the rich. We're going to take 75% of their money. Not so much now. It's falling apart, his whole plan to tax the rich. What are they going to do there?
Oh, well, he's still going for a tax rate, I think, of 65% instead of 75%.
Oh, are you kidding? That's a picnic compared to 75.
I'm not sure how to take your tone of voice.
Sarcasm, trust me.
Look, I guess I'd rather pay 65% than 75%, but quite frankly, I'd rather pay neither.
Yeah.
But did he really back down, Stuart, because movie stars were moving to Belgium and other places? What caused him to back down, do you think?
I think he's backed down because, A, his popularity ratings have sunk to the 30% level, and B, because this austerity that we hear about from Europe, it's not cutting spending as the left would like you to believe. In fact, it's raising taxes.
Right.
That's austerity European style. It's tax increases. And clearly it's not worked. Much of Europe's in misery. And France in particular is sinking. So maybe they're rethinking this bottom line approach of raise taxes on the rich. He's going to raise taxes on the rich, but not by as much as he said he was going to in the first place.
Well, Stuart, let's bring it back to home because your Democrats in the Senate, they finally passed a budget for the first time in, I think, since Disco was king, and they seem to be aping France. They're increasing taxes by something like $1.9 trillion over the next 10 years, and it's all coming from the rich.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what the final deal will be that the president, I am told, will sign this week. There are other headlines from this budget signing, notably that the sequestration cuts stay in place.
Yes.
The president doesn't like them, but he's got them. They're going to stay in place. And a lot of those projects that he was so gung-ho for, like building roads and bridges, like preschool education, they've sunk without sight. They're not even going to be debated. They're not part of this budget. I cannot answer your question on tax increases. I don't know what the final tax increase situation will be, but this budget at the moment looks like almost a success for the Republicans. Dare I say it?
Oh, see, now you just spoiled it.
I'm not sure how I spoiled it. I didn't do it deliberately on a Monday morning to you guys.
You jinxed it. See, too many Democrats listen to this show. Now they're going, we can't let Varney be right. We can't let the Republicans win.
You should see my email.
I bet. It's all right. Stuart Varney, you're always right. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks,
He's
Stuart.
the host of Varney and Company on Fox Business weekdays at 9:20. You don't want to miss